So when the suitors start coming, for me to be on the safe side, I have to give her out at the tender age.
Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. Welcome back to another beautiful video. I am so excited filming this video because this is the very first time that my dad is appearing on my channel officially. So officially today I have my dad here on my channel and I'm so happy, you guys. So if you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Sandra and this is my father. Okay, let me allow him to tell us his name. Welcome to my channel.
My name is John, Mr. John Emmanuel.
Okay.
From Imo State, from
Nkwere, precisely.
Nkwere local government area.
Precisely. Wow. We are happy to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Thanks.
I'm so happy to have my dad on my channel, like officially. I'm so excited. So I put out a post on my community and on Instagram for you guys to ask us questions, father and daughter questions, which all of you did, and I'm so happy we got a lot of beautiful questions. So that is what we've come to answer today. Like, we attempt the ones that my dad will accept to answer. That's the truth. Okay, and some of the questions were also directed at me personally, so I'm going to go into answering all of that questions now without wasting so much of your time. I'm going to be reading it out from a different phone. So if you notice me looking down, just know that I'm trying to bring out the questions. So the first question is for you, Daddy.
Yes.
This person is asking, what are some parenting regrets that you have? And if you're allowed to make amends, what will you do differently?
I don't have much regret about my children upbringing.
Okay.
Because they are very obedient to me at their tender age.
Okay.
So whatever I say, they work on it. Do as I have said.
Okay, like what the person is trying to say is, when you were training us, is there anything you did that you're regretting maybe doing it when you were bringing us up, like parenting?
Okay. Yes, there are some. In terms of training,
Okay.
when they misbehave, I usually beat them, but at a certain
Time.
I know it wasn't the right way.
Wow.
So I changed
Your pattern.
my pattern of with them.
Because when we were growing up, you guys, my dad is this kind of a man that when you misbehave, he will flog you, like you go collect serious beating. But at a time, especially when I had Danny and Sammy, I discovered that when you flog children, he kicks against it. So I began to ask him why, right? So I already know that he's going to point out this particular one. He now told me that flogging a child is not the best way to train them, because even if you're done flogging them, they can still do whatever they want to do. So
that is why I desist from flogging them so much. Not that I caution them.
okay.
Caution them well. Restrict myself from beating them up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next question now. I think this question is coming to me directly. This person said, how strict and protective was your father over their female children? He was so strict though. He's there now. Omeka was so strict. Like, he was so strict to the point that when I was growing up, I don't have friends. Friends don't come and find me in our house. If you are my friend, those days, I remember those days, when my friends want to come and see me, they will be at the gate. They will first of all peep. And once my dad is outside, they will go back. That's the end of it. They cannot enter because his face alone will scare you away. His face alone will scare you away. And then again, Especially if you are like me. I kept a lot of male friends growing up because then I was behaving like a boy. Okay, so I had so many boys as my friends, and whenever they want to come and see me, maybe they want to come and call me, let's go and play ball, or let's go and fetch firewood or something. Once they see my father, they will turn back. So he was very, very strict, when it comes to his female children, and he's still doing the same thing till today. Oh. My dad is strict when it comes to his female children. He does not allow us to do anyhow. Then, back in the days, I started wearing trousers when I left my house, like here. While I was here, before I got married, my dad does not allow us to wear trousers. I remember those days that I'll wear trousers and go out. Coming back, I'll be on the fence calling my mom to bring rubber for me. Or maybe all these tapa skirts, all those tight skirts. My mom will be the one to come and bring wrapper for me and throw for me through the fence. I will now use it and cover before I enter the house. And then I still remember again, growing up, the very first time that I fixed nails, like painted my hands, and I wanted to come and serve my father food with that my long nails. He used plastic table to scatter my head because of that nails on my hand. So he was very strict. He didn't allow, men come around us. That's the truth. You can't keep friends unnecessarily anyhow. So he was very, very strict. Okay, so this one is for you. This question. This person is saying, how was Sandra as a child? Her behavior, her likes and dislikes, and what sets her apart from your other children? So how was I?
Likes people, a lot of playing with a lot of people. As at that time, when she was tender, if I get him some biscuits and all these
Gift for children.
gifts for children, in order to be on the safe side.
Okay, for you to be on the safe side.
For me to be on the safe side, I will give her some portions first, then I keep some.
Okay.
That portion I give her first, she will share it with all the children around her that time until all
You
of them
finish.
finished. Then, when there was no one again in her hand to take, she will start crying. Then I will call her in and give her some. She will relax and become free.
Oh, meaning I will first of all go outside and share.
You must surely, even though it is inside, I gave it to you. You will
I will go outside and go and share it.
And when they saw those things in your hand, they will all rush.
Come and collect.
Not fully, they will collect.
Okay, that's the part of me that is different from.
From my other children.
Okay.
Then others were somehow street. They were somehow street with their gifts.
They will not
So
give.
they won't give.
Okay. Like, what are my likes and dislikes? What I like doing when I was small.
You like going to school,
Okay.
going to church, doing some
Sports.
household
Okay.
things and playing a lot with other children.
Okay, so let me go to the next question. This one is for me. This person said, what particular discipline or punishment did your dad give to you that you will never forget in a hurry? Hey, I don't want to say it here, but there was one day that my dad beat me. I'll never forget that day in a hurry. God, you guys. In fact, he's beating. You know the kind of beating that you collect, you vow in your life never to repeat that thing. So he's beating. Let me not go into details what happened before they gave me that beating, because growing up now and we remember some of the things we did back then, you actually realize that if you are in their position, the person go collect. So I actually did something that triggered him to give me the beating of my life, and since then I did not repeat that thing again in my life. Maybe it's going to be a story time for maybe one day on my channel. This one is for you, Dad.
Yes.
This person said, what advice do you have for youths? And what is the secret to your health?
Okay. The advice I have for you is this. They should always obey their parents.
Okay.
Because when you obey your parents, you always forge ahead.
In life.
For you to forge ahead in life, you always obey your parents. No man, no woman will like his child to misbehave or go
Yes.
astray.
Yes.
It's very painful for a
Yes.
man or a woman to see her child behave ungodly or do things abnormal. It is very painful for any good parents. So that's the only advice to the children. Obey your parents in all things
For the
so that
youth.
you have a very close relations with your parents.
Wow.
Because if you don't obey, they will bully you at your times, and then when you will be running helter-skelter, and when you see them, you start dodging.
Dodging.
A child is supposed to, when he sees his parents, he will come up
And be relaxed.
and be relaxed in the presence of their parents. So the other one.
The secrets of your health.
Okay. I thank God. It's God that giveth health. It's God that giveth everything. It's not by power, not by force,
Yes.
but by His Spirit and the way He designed somebody. I do a lot of hard work in my youth in those days,
Yes.
but God helped me to be alive till today. I'm getting to 80.
Yes.
Just very few years now, I'll be 80,
80 years old. It's true.
So I thank my God for that.
Yes.
He did to me and to my family.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. So the secret to your good health is God's divine help.
Yes.
Okay, so this one says, how does your dad feel seeing you as a YouTuber? So how do you feel seeing me as a YouTuber?
Seeing you as a YouTuber, I feel good. You have tried many options.
Yes.
Long reach, happy word, mailgate, well, and what again?
Businesses. Even.
Businesses and all that.
Yes.
Then
YouTube came up.
YouTube came up. Then she joined YouTube. I've never been against her doing
anything
business,
genuine.
Anything genuine. I've never been against her.
It's true.
Unless something that is abnormal, I will be against it. But anything good she endeavors to do, I give my consent.
Wow. Okay, so you guys are seeing that my dad is in support of me being on YouTube, because I've gotten this question from a lot of people. What are your parents, what they feel about you being on YouTube and all of that? So you guys have heard it now from him. He gave his consent, right? And this is the most asked question, you guys. It says, why did your dad allow you to marry at a tender age? So why did you allow me to marry at a tender age?
Nigeria, many people married at tender age. Even some of them never finished
secondary school.
First school living certificate.
That's primary.
Primary.
Jesus.
They got married.
Primary school.
Yes.
Jesus. That's in the olden days. It's olden days belief.
Just trying to tell you what is happening. So when the suitors start coming, for me to be on the safe side, I have to give her up.
In marriage.
To be on the safe side. Instead of her to misbehave or do one thing or the other, that will offend my way of life.
You say?
I said there is no money after that time.
As at when I finished.
Because others are coming up, going to secondary school. Other of my children are coming up.
And they will go to
They
school.
will all go to secondary school. They all attended secondary school
Yes.
any other thing. So I decided for her to
Get married.
get married.
And it's a decision that helped me, like seriously, you guys. Some of you will be like, how did you? I have another question where somebody asked me, how come you don't blame your parents for anything? I'll be like, that was the best decision they made for me. You know why? Looking at Danny now, I'll never stop saying this. Danny is 13 now, and at my age, you guys, so many of my age mates are just, getting married, like the way I just remarried. So many of them are just getting married now for the first time in their life. So having a grown up, a teenager in my life already, and someone to help me. By the time Danny will be 25 and I'm walking on the road with Danny, people will not believe that I'm the one that gave birth to him. So it actually helped me. Okay, if not for anything, my children are my greatest asset in life. I'm so sorry if the weather is changing. I'm so sorry about the background now because the weather is changing, but I feel it's still okay. Abi? It's still very bright now. So let me I need to rush now because it's like it's about to rain. Okay, this one says, I just want to ask you and your brother, who is older? And she said, my brother that was sick earlier. I am older than him. I'm older than him. I am the first child of my parents. I'm older than all my siblings. So I'm the eldest. This one is for you, Daddy.
Yes.
What do you have to say about Igbo tradition that widows perform? Example, cutting their hair, drinking dead body water. Some of them, they will bat the late husband and give them the water to drink. And then giving their husband's brothers taking over the wife, the widow. What do you have to say about that?
As a Christian,
Okay.
it is unlawful to do all those things. I'm against it.
Yes.
I wouldn't love any of my child or my son
To go through such.
that kind of nonsense. It is completely nonsense.
Nonsense.
It is against the will of God.
Yes.
People practicing it, I don't think
They have knowledge of
they
God.
have knowledge of what they are doing. They can never prove it biblically. So anything that is against the Bible, I'm highly against it because
Okay.
I'm a Christian.
Wow. So you don't support.
I don't support that.
Okay. Okay, this one is for you too. This person says, did you ever regret, giving me out in marriage at a tender age? Did you ever regret it at any point in life?
I didn't regret it. I didn't regret it at all.
Millie Abiakwa. You guys, it's raining. Anyway, let's answer like one more question, and if the rain continues, this is going to be the end of this video. Okay, this one is saying, why did you choose your profession? So you guys, the rain actually chased us from our former position, so we had to change to this position because we really want to attempt to all your questions. So you were saying something about how you started your job.
Okay.
You said you met one of the brothers.
I met one of our pastors. He was in building line. And he introduced me into building.
Wow.
We started going.
That is Brother Godi.
Yeah, that is.
I know him.
Then that's how I started.
The building profession.
Doing the building, going on with building profession.
Wow. Okay, so another question. Was it difficult to pay my mother's bride price? This question is from Doreen. Doreen can ask question for Africa. One person asked like 15 questions. I'll just try and answer her question this time, because last time during my Q&A, I didn't attempt her questions at all because they were so long and the video was getting too long. So let me try and answer some of your questions. Was it difficult for you as an emo man to pay my mom's bride price as an Anambra woman?
It wasn't so difficult. Along the line, I encountered some difficulties due to the tradition of the people, but
You overcome
I
them.
overcome them.
Okay.
Because when you determine to do something,
When you saw the love of your life, you determined to marry my
you don't
Yambako.
have to go back. And
You already saw her.
and God is with me and gave me revelations
About her.
about her.
Wow.
So I know she's actually my wife.
You mean
Because
before
I'm
you
not-
met her,
Yes.
you had revelations about man?
No, not before I met her.
When you met her?
When I met her, God started talking to me,
About her.
telling me something about her, how beneficial she would be in my
In
life.
your life.
Then I decided
To go.
there's a lot of people coming along the line. But I
Oh me man!
I love them.
He
Yes,
said there's a
that's-
lot of people coming, a lot of
Along
other
the-
women.
Yes.
A lot of other women coming, but he
Yes.
knocked them off. This one sweet me. I'll tell my mom. I'll show my mom with this part of the video.
Okay.
Okay, so Doreen, your questions are actually interesting, and my dad is answering them with all sincerity. Let me take a few more from your questions. So let me take a few more from your questions. So this question about the Biafran war, whatever, I'm going to like film a total, complete, full video with my dad on it, because I mean, he has a lot to say about it, and if I begin to talk about it now, it's going to make this video very, very long. So let's wait for that, okay? So I'm sorry, Doreen. So they are asking, what do you think of Mr. Bright, my husband?
I see Bright as my in-law. He never told me his intentions. I didn't discuss with him. I only discussed
With
my
your daughter?
And tell her to be very careful with him. Because I know some of the footballers are radicals. Then,
Along the line.
along the line, he started making advances. I made some inquiries. He was very quiet and gentle. Then I accepted him.
And the marriage.
And the marriage went ahead. Then I didn't think anything about him.
Anything negative again?
Yes, I never feel anything negative. I never feel anything. So they were living happily. Then I cautioned him in some occasions to know what he has entered into.
Exactly.
Marriage is not friendship. The Bible says, if you don't love your family, you don't love Christ. That is what
The Bible says.
So I stick closely to the Word of God. And I thank God everything is going as planned by
Wow.
the will of God.
Okay, we are happy to hear from you. We have actually answered a lot of questions, and I don't want this video to have a part 2, so I will still try and let's answer more. Okay, this one is, your marriage with my mom, was it that it was you just saw her and you liked her, or somebody just like it was arranged, her parents and your parents arranged for both of you to marry?
There was no formal arrangement.
Oh, there was no, like, it was not an arranged
Yes.
marriage.
She
Okay.
was doing hairdressing
When you met her.
as the time I saw her. The person he was working, the person she was working with, lived in the same yard with me.
Wow.
I asked the woman, because it's a married woman, I asked her about the lady. He says she's good. Because I've been seeing her going and coming.
And she entered your eyes.
Then I decided to ask about her. Then the woman told me everything about her, how she behaved, how she's innocent, how she's harmless.
Oh,
Then
you
I
decided
decided to ask some questions, to have interactions with her.
her.
So after the interactions, it was lingering. Then I decided to go to her
Parents, and make it official.
and make it official.
Wow.
Then
This one is, how did you feel when I told you that I want to remarry?
when I heard the word that he wanted to remarry, I wasn't depressed or have any negative feeling. As a young lady, if the husband dies, according to the word of God, if she decides to stay, she can stay. If she decides to marry, she can marry. That is the word of God. You can find it in Corinthians. So, when you told me that you want to be married, I wasn't put off. It was something in the right direction. So I gave my consent. That's all.
So, that's it. I'm so happy that we have filmed this video, and we have a lot of things we need to talk about, like in a full video. He's a very spiritually inclined man. As a matter of fact, my spiritualism got to the level it is now because of my dad. He cannot say one or two words without him saying the Bible, God said. So I grew up to know him like that, right? And my mom too. So thank you so much for appearing on my channel. We are so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
And we would like to see you over and over again.
Thank you. God bless you.
Amen. So I'll see you guys in my next video. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to my channel. I'm begging, please. If not for any other thing, for the fact that my dad is here officially and he attempted to all of your questions, please subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.